Well, we're live. Good morning and welcome to Wisdom to Wealth. Thank you for tuning in. I am Whitney Hammond of Sovereign Wealth Management, and joining me today is Theresa Pellizzari, Financial Security Advisor at Sovereign Wealth Management. Whether you are getting started in your investment life, looking to manage your money yourself, or work closely with a financial advisor, Wisdom to Wealth discussions will provide a roadmap to the life you want and deserve. Today, we're talking about the benefits of preparing for tax season. Welcome, Theresa.
Thanks, Whitney. Great to be here.
Yeah. And you know what? I just realized I didn't put our slogan in. You go ahead and say it.
Oh, the one of take control of your finances so they don't take control of you. This is key when it comes to income tax.
That's it. That's it. So now we're in the time right now, January, February, well, March, that we call this, we typically call this tax season. We typically call it RRSP season. Of course, planning goes all year round, but this is the time where people look at things. So did you want to talk to us about your experience with preparing for tax season?
Yeah, it can be daunting, but tax season is in full swing at this point, and by April 30th, our tax returns need to be sent in to avoid any penalties. And it always surprised me when I dropped off my income tax or picked it up, that accountants or bookkeepers, whoever was doing it, was like, "Oh my God, you're so organized. This is awesome." I'm like, "What? Really?" This was like sticking needles in my eyes. And I learned over the years that people often just take a grocery bag or a shoebox and drop it off to whoever's doing their income tax. And I got thinking about that because I don't like wasting time. So I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I'm doing this all wrong. But if you go back to one of Whitney's favorite lines, which I absolutely love and has helped me to build wealth, is being in control of your finances means playing that part when it comes to your income tax. So I did take a pause and a quick deep think of, okay, I'm spending all this time sticking needles in my eyes, organizing things to the degree that I have a table of contents. And then I have a file folder numbered to match the table of contents. So over the top, but what it does is it helps me really dive deep into my income tax. It helps me prepare for the following year. And it teaches my daughter, who can do that tedious stuff as we move forward through the year. So although it's tough to do, it has absolutely paid off to slow down, focus, and touch that paperwork to see if there's any other opportunities. It gets your mind thinking into it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And some people will get tax refunds, and some people will pay. And it's up to you how you want to run your finance. But I do know that being on top of it, what you focus on, you'll actually get in life. Right. So if you want to be messy, things will be messy. If you want to be poor, you'll be poor. If you want to be rich, you'll be rich. And that's as simple, really, honestly, as it is. So do you have any tax tips for us?
Yes, I do. And as I mentioned earlier, it is a daunting exercise going through that, but the more organized you are, the better it is. And this year, more than any year in the past, 2020, it's important to know what the tax changes are, because with COVID-19 and the various government programs, there are some other things that we all need to consider, or some of us need to consider. The two main ones is the tax relief and the CERB that was sent out. So people are getting the tax slips for them and going, oh my goodness, this wasn't taxed. And now they owe the tax money on that. So that's a big aha that really we could have known about from the very beginning. Google is our friend. It's not always 100% accurate, but it'll be an aha for many people. The other is working at home. There's relief for the people that have been working at home. And I believe it's twofold, where here's a flat rate you can claim, or you can do some extra work and increase the amount that you can claim. So that's one. Two is staying organized throughout the year. When January hits, set up your files for the next year. And then what that does for my brain is it gets me touching everything and charting it all, so it's all ready to go for the accountant. And again, when I heard something interesting a few weeks ago, and it was someone that said, it's not about the plan, it's about the planning. So
Yeah.
while you're going through all the steps to plan, you then clear your mind of all that tedious stuff, and then you can think of the bigger picture, which is generally a strategy.
Yeah.
So that would be number two. Number three would be the software. You know, make sure you just don't buy the cheapest software. If you decide to do it on your own, buy software that suits your needs. And if you have rental properties or a side business, or you're selling assets that may result in capital gains or losses, it's probably better to use a CPA.
Oh, absolutely. I was going to say, you mentioned accountant, and I highly recommend everybody to file with an accountant, because they know because the taxes are changing constantly,
Right.
and to keep up with all those changes is an actual full-time job for the CPAs.
Mhm.
So it's better to pass them out. I've seen so many errors, income splits are missed, all sorts of things are missed. So I mean, accountants don't charge a lot of money to file a tax return, so it's better to pass it over there. Yeah.
Agree 100%. That leads into my next point too, is they'll help you keep track of your carry forward amounts, whether that's your RSPs, capital losses, gains, RSP contribution room, which is a big one. If I ask clients many times, can you share your notice of assessment with me? They're digging for that, which it's not just handy, and they're not looking at it. Other clients know exactly, this is how much I can contribute, because you want to be able to leverage that tax deferral, and you don't want to be charged a penalty by going over.
Absolutely. And you want to know what, your carry back gains, losses are, because you can refile your taxes. So not everything has to be used in the same year. The same thing as a charitable donation. The biggest tip for charitable donations is with estate planning, is many times we'll see somebody pass away, and there's receipts that can be carried forward. So they do not need to be filed in that year, or even if you're alive, you don't have to pass away, but receipts can be filed. So for example, if you know that in 2021, your income is going to be higher, those receipts may be better to be used in 2021. And again, the reason why you want to have a CPA file for you instead of trying to figure stuff out yourself. I did want to add something about corporate tax. Can I put that in here?
Absolutely.
Okay, so for those business owners that are incorporated, it's nice to have your operating company year end somewhere around July 31st. And the reason for that is that there's certain tax planning techniques that you can do where you can pay out dividends, you can pay out bonuses that will go into the business owner's next tax year. So there's a lot of strategies that you can actually reduce your taxes for this year, and you can roll forward and roll forward. You can keep kind of deferring things. And one of the big words in the accounting world is deferral. And so some people could say, well, if you're just deferring everything, at some time it's going to catch up to you. Well, the time when it catches up to you is when the planner, the accountant, decides, you know what? Now's the time, because you are in a lower tax bracket. So it's really important for business owners to be working with a creative accountant, not somebody who's just, doing compliance, right? You need to be able to have that conversation to say,
Right.
look, you know what? My goal in life is I want to build wealth. And one of the ways to build wealth is to be on top of the tax game. The wealthiest people are on top of their tax game. Doesn't mean that they need to know and understand it, but what it does mean is they need to be with a chartered accountant who is doing more than compliance. And what I mean by compliance is somebody who's just filing your tax return. Done. Versus somebody who sits down and says, okay, we're going to build a strategy here. We're going to have some operating company, could be more than one, and we're going to have a holding company, could be more than one, and we're going to do a whole bunch of stuff so that we can build your wealth. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome information. I mean, who wants to pay more taxes? So in wrapping up, let's just talk about the three fundamentals of reducing your taxes. So one is lower your gross and taxable income by deferring the income to another year, which Whitney just covered. The other is, taking all your allowable deductions and maximizing your RSP contributions. And third, using all your available tax credits to lower the total taxes that you're needing. So the key to proper planning is to understand the relationship between the three fundamental concepts, and then, really working it and being prepared. Planning will allow you to have the best plan.
Absolutely. And I encourage everybody to talk to a financial advisor who focuses on this. Theresa focuses on this. She spends a lot of time helping people and providing the information that they need to get ahead. I do the same. The accountant will help you with, the tax strategies, but they're not able to. They don't have the time to sit and do what we do. It's not their job. So I encourage anybody to reach out to Theresa. We'll put your cell phone number below, and you're only a text away. You're only a phone call away.
Awesome. Thanks, Whitney.
Thank you, Theresa. And we'll see everybody again next Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Have a great week. And
Sunny day.
yeah, nice and warm. We'll see
Exactly.
you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.